Most welcome student. This is Utkarsh Tiwari, chemistry faculty. Now student, we are coming the next part of law of combinations. हम लोगों ने लास्ट वाले वीडियो में डिस्कस किया था law of constant proportion. Now numerical is remaining, which is related to the law of constant proportion. Now we are discussing law of constant proportion numerical. Now you know that law of constant proportion, we already know that what is the meaning of law of constant proportion. If two elements are combined and form a compound like H2O combined by formation of hydrogen and oxygen, then the ratio of hydrogen and oxygen is always constant. If it will be extract or you take out from anywhere, water means H2O is coming from anywhere, means a sea water, river water, anywhere. The ratio of hydrogen oxygen is always constant. And here we are proving the same thing with the help of the numerical. Now this is the related to the ferrous oxide. Now question is, in an experiment 2.4 gram of ferrous oxide reduction with hydrogen yield 1.68 gram of iron. In another experiment 2.9 gram of FeO give a 2.03 gram of Fe. Show the law of constant proportion. Now we take a first experiment. We already have a ferrous oxide is a 2.40 gram and ferrous is 1.68 gram. So oxygen is 2.40 minus 1.68. So this is coming as 0.72. Now there are the two elements which form a ferrous oxide, iron and oxygen. So ratio of oxygen and iron is 0.72 ratio 1 ratio 6.8. So here you see that we divided by 0.72 to 1.68. So this has become a 1 and this has become 1.68 change into 2.33. You always remember that if you doing the question which is related to constant proportion, one of them change into unit, and here I am changing oxygen into unit, means 0.7.2 is divided in a both, means 0.72 and 1.68. so this is become a 1 and that one is coming 2.33. Now if we take a second experiment, the second experiment we have ferrous oxide at 2.90 gram, Fe is given 2.03, so oxygen is coming 2.90 minus 2.03, this is coming 0.87. So ratio of oxygen and iron is coming as 0.87 ratio 2.03. Clear? So we divided again 0.87 in a both one, so this is coming a unit and this is coming a 2.33. Now constant ratio, it means it proves that law of constant proportion. Now student, we are coming the next one, law of multiple proportion. Now see it. Now student, we are coming the next one. हम लोग next की बात करते हैं law of multiple proportion. Law of multiple proportion is actually given by Dalton, and he explained if the two elements are combined to form a more than one compound of the different masses of one element is always combined with the fixed mass of the other element. Now, see, if the two elements are combined and form a more than two compounds, so one compounds is always constant. One compound is always constant, has a weight of one element and weight of other element is always in a multiple form. यानी एक का हमेशा कांस्टेंट रहेगा और दूसरे का क्या रहेगा, हमेशा मल्टीपल फॉर्म में रहेगा. सो दैट दिस इज प्रूव द लॉ ऑफ मल्टीपल प्रोपोर्शन. क्लियर? सो इन दिस वे इट प्रूव द लॉ ऑफ मल्टीपल प्रोपोर्शन. नाउ हियर वी टेकन एन एग्जांपल. सी if the carbon and oxygen is react and form a carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide. So here you see that a carbon atomic weight is 12 and oxygen is 16. So ratio become a 3:4. And here in the carbon dioxide, its weights, carbon is atomic weight 12 and oxygen is 32. Means a 3:8. Here the weight of carbon is constant and oxygen is a multiple form. Now similarly, if we take a nitrogen oxide N2O, N2O2, N2O3, N2O4 and N2O5. So weight of nitrogen is always constant is 28 and oxygen is always 16 into 32 into 48 into 64 into 80 in a multiple form. 62s are 32, 3s are 48, 4s are 64. 8 5s are 80. So this is in a multiple form and nitrogen is a constant. Now, if we see the numerical related to that one, compound ABC has a hydrogen 25, 14.3 and 7.7. So the percentage of carbon becomes how much? This is coming 100 minus 25 and means 75, and here is 100 is 14.3, so this is coming at 85.7, and the next one, this one is the carbon is 100 minus 7.7, so this is coming as a 92.3. So this is the percentage of carbon and that one is hydrogen. So we take a hydrogen is 1, so divided by 25 to 75, so this is coming as a 3, 1:3, and here is 1 ratio 85.7 divided by 14.3, so this is coming 1:6. If 1 ratio is 22.3 is divided by this one 7.7, so this is coming 1:12. Now I'm already told you whatever I'm explaining in our law of constant proportion, one of them change into unit. So here we change a hydrogen in a unit, and this figure is divided to that one. So 75 is divided by 25, so coming 3. 85.7 is divided by 14.3, so 14.3, so this is coming as 6. If the 92.3 is divided by 7.7, so this is coming a 1:12. Clear, student? So in this way, one of them is a constant and second one is always in a multiple form. 3:6:12. So that it proves the law of constant proportion. Clear? No, this is the law of multiple proportion. Clear? I think you understand very well. Now I am coming the next one. This is a law of reciprocal proportion. Clear? Now student, we are coming the last law of reciprocal proportion. This is student given by Richter, and he explained that if when a different mass of an element A combined with two other elements B and C to form a compound which has a constant ratio, if these two B and C's also react to each other, then it form a compound which has a B and C ratio is constant or in a multiple form. Anywhere अगर A रिएक्ट करता है B और C से, तो A और B और A और C के बीच जो बना कंपाउंड A B और A C के बीच रेशियो कांस्टेंट रहेगा, यह मल्टीपल रहेगा. अगर B और C भी एक दूसरे से रिएक्ट करेंगे, देन आल्सो दे आर इन अ कांस्टेंट रेशियो. वो भी किस में रहेंगे? कांस्टेंट रेशियो में या मल्टीपल रेशियो में रहेंगे. नाउ हियर आई एम टेकिंग एग्जांपल. हाइड्रोजन रिएक्ट B and C मींस सल्फर एंड ऑक्सीजन फॉर्म H2S. रेशियो ऑफ हाइड्रोजन एंड सल्फर इज 2:32. H and O is react, then form H2O. H and O ratio is 2:16. Clear? So here hydrogen is common, means sulfur and oxygen ratio is 32:16. Clear? Now the sulfur and oxygen is react, then the sulfur is 32 and oxygen is also 32. So here the sulfur is the same weight, means 32, but oxygen in a multiple form. It means it proves the reciprocal proportion. We already discussed they are in a constant or in a multiple form. Here they are in a multiple form. Clear? Now you must remember that this law is also called law of equivalent mass. Clear? Now after that we are explain this one with the help of one numerical. Now see it. Now see the numerical which is related to law of reciprocal proportion. Clear, student? Now question is illustrate the law of reciprocal proportion KCl contain a 52% is potassium. Ki the second compound which has a 23.6% of potassium. And ICl has a 78.2% of iodine. Now here we see that in a first one KCl and Ki. Potassium is common. Clear? So this one you take a A. And B and C you take a Cl and I. So here we common the common weight of पोटेशियम because it is a common, it is behave as a A. तो हम लोगों ने यहाँ पर पोटेशियम को कॉमन होने की वजह से कांस्टेंट वेट ले लिया. क्लियर? और फिर हम लोगों ने I और Cl का कॉम्बिनेशन चेक किया. नाउ सी इट. नाउ हियर वी सी दैट a 23.6%, this one, this is a lower weight in comparison to that one. So 23.6% potassium react with 76.4 iodine. How can we find out? 100 is minus by 23.6. So this is coming is 76.4. So 1% is here, 76.4 upon 23.6. So given is 52%, that one is coming a 168.3. Clear? 168.3. So here we get the weight of that one, means iodine. Clear? So, and potassium weight is same. Here is a 52 and the second one is a 23.6. Now in the second one we get the 52% and the 52% is react with how much iodine? This is 168.3. So here the iodine is, and that one is coming how much? Here we see that we take the ratio of Cl and I. This is a 168.3. Is it 168.3? So in the KCl we minus 100 minus 52. This is coming as a 48. Clear? So 48% of Cl in a KCl, and I is coming from that one. This is a 168.3. Because the potassium weight is both of them same. Here is a 52 and here we also calculate 52 in this method. So potassium weight is both of them same. Chlorine is 48%, iodine is 168.3. We know that one of them change into unit. So 48 divided to 168.3. So value is coming as a 1.35. Now we take a third compound. Third compound we taking this one, ICl. Now here we see that in ICl, I is given is 78.2 and chlorine minus 100 subtracted by 100, 78.2. So this is coming as a 21.8. Now we divide by 21.8 to 78.2. So this is coming at 3.5. Now here we see that both of them is the same ratio, means a constant. So in an example we prove that law of constant proportion, multiple proportion. Here we prove that law of constant proportion. It means reciprocal. Explain that if the B and C is react, then it always acts in a constant ratio or multiple ratio. So these are the law of combination. In the next video I am discussing the next heading, which is related to the stoichiometry. Now this is the end of the video. Thank you and thanks a lot.